Are you looking for relief from stress, anxiety, or pain? If so, you may want to consider trying CBD. CBD is a natural compound found in the hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotizeme.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Bossfest podcast.
It seemed like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me, till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations, ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Boss Fest Podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Boss Fest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is, the Boss Fest Podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome again to another edition of the Boss Fest podcast. I am Edwina. I am Kevin.
Oh,
I'm Kevin. I'm Kevin. We won. We won. See,
we ain't that one.
I'm Kevin, and here with my lovely wife, Edwina. How you doing today, babe?
I'm good. I didn't know if you wanted me to be Kevin today.
I did put my name. At least I put the names on the screen, right? So
Yeah,
we good though. But we y'all know how we do out here in the world. But today we got a special guest, and I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of bio about my man here. So
are we doing bios?
Listen, we're trying to do better in 2020.
Get special treatment. Go ahead.
Listen, we're doing better, and Vic deserve it, so we're gonna run it. So Vic is a published author, thought leader, creative, and full-time father. As a serial entrepreneur and astute real estate investor, Vic has earned accolades that include being celebrated as one of the top 10 under 40 in Tampa Bay in 2023, as well as a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award winner in 2024. Vic is a visionary behind the influential lifestyle brand and movement, Real, which is rich even after losses, inspiring countless individuals to find wealth and resilience and triumph beyond challenges. His newest venture is authoring his first book, Why Don't We Ask Why, which will be released June 21st, 2024. Without further ado, let me introduce y'all to Vic Gurley Jr. How you doing, boss?
Hey, man. Good. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the intro. Appreciate y'all having me on the show.
Man, we like bringing on creative people that's out here doing things, entrepreneurs and stuff. So when the opportunity fell upon us, we had to jump on it. So we thank you for accepting the invite and allowing us to talk with you today.
Shout out to Marshina for putting that together.
Thank you for all our connections out there. So, Vic, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show too much, but my wife, she just like to jump into the topic.
All right.
And And today's
Yep.
topic is centered around the title of your book. So, first off, I guess we know we're going to talk about why we don't ask why. But I guess my first question starting off is why was this the title of your book?
So it actually stemmed from, so originally when I was writing the book, it was actually completely different. It was going to be based around my brand, Real, Rich Even After Losses, and kind of the principles behind that. I had something happen in my life where I had a business partner, was a friend of mine. We were working on the app together, building the app together. Long story short, he ended up stealing $103,000 from me.
Ooh.
So that kind of, it was a punch to the gut, and my initial reaction, my initial thought was, I'm gonna kill this dude, like for real.
Damn, that got
So
dark.
I mean, you said
I
103,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So as I'm pacing back and forth in my living room, my son come up, he tug at my leg. So I'm looking down at him. He's four at the time. No, 3 at the time. Um, so I look down at him and I'm like, man, I can't do nothing if I wanted to. So that led me into thinking about all the things I had to do, all the sacrifices I had to make that money. And then I thought about how fast it was just taken away. So that led me to starting to question things like, why do we do all of this for this money when it can be taken away so easily? So that's what kind of got me to that.
Okay. 100 stacks. Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Man,
yeah,
how many
yeah.
houses was you flipping to get 100 stacks?
Hey, it took a minute, man. It's just building. And look, I done spoke them up.
There you go. We understand.
I done spoke them up. But yeah, man, that's just just working. Started multiple businesses. I had my biggest was my short-term rental company, so like Airbnbs, things like that. Um, I was in consulting, like mentoring. Hey, you gotta go, buddy. I was gonna let you chill for a minute.
Come on, they get excited.
but uh, but yeah, that's what it was, and then that kind of led me to the point where I just started questioning everything. So I kind of took a step back from business at that point. So all of 2023 was my focus was studying and learning. So I studied the financial system in America, the judicial system, the government structure, um, all these different things. I got into learning more about spirituality, diet, start growing my own food. So all of these things stem from that situation, and kind of also incorporated into the book.
Okay. I don't want to dominate. You got something, babe? Or you still listening? Or you what?
What we not gonna do on these good people internet is keep referring to me. Talk your talk.
I'm gonna talk my talk, and then when she get on me for talking too much, then I'll let her chime in. No, that's
Uh,
powerful. So what makes someone just go and say, "All right, man, I'm just gonna just start reinvesting in myself in that way"? Because I tried to do that at the beginning of 2024, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm supposed to be reading a book a month, and I might got a book and a half in, and we 6 months in. So I know I got to do better. But how does someone stay grounded and focused on doing?
really, is once you go through different things, what I try to do is learn. I don't like making the same mistake twice. So I think that's a big motivation piece. Uh, Obviously, I've dealt with things, many of things prior to that one. Um, that was probably the biggest monetary loss that I've seen. So just the way that I felt afterwards, it put me in like a very vulnerable space, something that I ain't never want to feel again. So I said, I'm gonna make sure that I have the knowledge, I have the mental strength and capacity to be able to maneuver through any of these type of obstacles and still be able to come out on the other end, better than I was.
So I may be asking, I don't want to say a dumb question, but I understand the situation with your friend stealing the money is what got you to the book. But
Mhm.
that was why don't we ask why? Like I'm still
So the question is, so it started with, if you think about, everybody wants to get to the bag, right? Everybody's chasing the bag. Um, a lot of times we don't really know why, outside of, I just want to be able to live this lavish lifestyle, or
like why
uh
we're chasing the bag, you mean?
yeah. So
Okay.
so it started with that question, but from that question it goes into a lot of other things. So if you think about anything that you believe in, whether it's religion, why do we believe in our religion? Our social, the social norms that we live by. Um, whether it's, the way marriage is handled, the way we raise our kids, what we believe as far as education and the education system. So pretty much all the things that you believe in and all the things that you live by, where did they come from? Why do you think the
Okay,
way you
that's
do?
I thought we were gonna get into like a series of the whys because I'm a person I ask questions about everything.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, so it gotta be like a little bit more to that. Um, okay.
Yeah. So the purpose of the book, because it's a fictional story, so it's three characters. It's from three perspectives: a man, an elephant, and an apple tree. So the point is to get the reader like, to acknowledge the whys in their own lives, because everybody's questions and what they're trying to understand about themselves are going to be different. So, like, the things that I want to dive deeper in might be different than the things you want to dive deeper in. So, the purpose of the book is to get people to first acknowledge what their own whys are, and then explore where they came from so they can get closer to their purpose.
Sounds like the book about the cheese. But I like this. So will it be on Audible when it launches?
So I'm actually in the process of recording the audio version. Right now, it's gonna be hard copy and then ebook.
Okay. Because there was some good advice in the chat. Kevin takes a long drive every day, so it was like you could check it out on Audible.
Mhm.
And I definitely appreciate the shout out saying that we look refreshed after traveling because we don't feel refreshed. And I mean,
uh,
because I got sick, it was just a lot. And I
where was y'all
appreciate the
traveling at?
talk. We recently went to South Africa.
Okay. Oh. I just got back probably, what's it, 3 days ago.
Oh, where were you traveling to?
Asia. Went to Japan, Thailand, and Bali.
Okay.
Why do all that? I'm asking whys now.
So really, that was my getaway after that was my first like big trip since I really been locked in on writing a book, and this whole I don't know, I guess you could say somewhat of an awakening phase for me. So yeah, just a getaway, and I figured I'd string together a few different places to check out.
I want to know about the awakening, but go ahead, ask your question.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, cause as I haven't had a chance to read the book, but I read the intro
The
to the
book
book
ain't even came out yet.
on Amazon. If I buy it, it'll show up to my house on the 17th.
But he said it don't come out to the 21st.
I know what his bio said, but I know what Amazon told me, and Amazon ain't told a lie yet, unless
Yeah.
Amazon lies to me all the time. Do you be asking Amazon why?
I'll
Yeah.
go ask Amazon why. Dang it.
So the official launch was the 21st. So the way my distributor is, they produce the books and then they send them to the retailers. So like ordering through Amazon, you can get it before that. Because it was set up as just pre-orders at first, and then once they got the books, then they can start shipping them out.
Oh, we get this scoop first on the Bossfest podcast.
That's what I'm talking.
Hey, there you go.
So these three characters, because when I skimmed and I saw the characters, a man, an elephant, and a tree, I was like, man, what type of state of mind does someone have to be as a writer to try to bring a perspective from at least an elephant and a tree? A man, I can bring a man's perspective, but if I'm writing,
Yeah.
like, how do I bring an elephant's perspective into play, and also the perspective of a tree?
So I've always been a creative, like had a creative mind. So those things, I guess they kind of, especially through experiences, they come natural for me. Hey, buddy, they come natural to me. So really, I wanted to be able to hit every part of the spectrum when it comes to uh, like perspectives with conflict, dealing with conflict and purpose. So if you start at the simplest, which is the apple tree, when an apple tree is planted, it grows, it produces what?
Produces fruit, apples, fruit.
Right. So it's not going to produce oranges. It's not going to produce lemons. Only apples, because that's its purpose. So no matter what influences are around it, it only produces apples. As you get more complex, the elephant is kind of the middle, and then obviously the man is the most complex. You have more outside influences that kind of affect the trajectory of your life, and the way you look at things, the way you handle situations, the way you think, the way you process information. So the reason for the three different characters was to give different versions of the perspective from complex to simple, because the idea is to, and obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but from the Apple perspective, it's setting its purposes. It's not going to deter from that.
I got you.
So that is the ideal, how, we want to be. So we basically, in order to get to that point, we have to understand the whys. We have to understand how we got to where we are now, so that we can, unlearn, relearn, and get back on the road to our purpose.
I like that. Because when I was looking at the intro, I was like, man, I know I'm not that creative of a person to just think about the perspective of a tree or some type of animal. But when you just broke that down, it allowed me to just kind of dig deeper. But if I was afraid to ask, why did you pick those characters, I would have never known, which goes into play. So very interesting.
Now you just gonna be walking around asking people why.
I'm gonna ask people why. Why you look like that? Why you decide to wear that? All this, I'm asking why everywhere.
Hey, it's a powerful question.
I hope it don't get me in trouble. I'll try with my wife first. If she don't
ask me no stupid whys.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm done asking people why.
That fast, huh?
You tell her don't ask her. I was gonna start there to see how it worked out. If it didn't work out well, with her, then she's supposed to be my safe space.
Hey, you're not the safe space?
Apparently not. Ask him why. Why am I not the safe space?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I like this comment. That's a great perspective. Humans are way more complex. So kind of go in line with what you were saying.
So we're gonna try to dig into this why question now. So we allow you to touch on the book. Y'all know that if y'all want to get this available on Amazon. I know my man said he working on the website. Hopefully that'll be available soon. And we're gonna work on the Audible, so we'll get that information out there too. So we're gonna dig into these why questions. So when you think about as an entrepreneur, so you as an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, you've been recognized for your talents and things of that nature. Why did you even become an entrepreneur? What made you get into that? Or was it just always built that way? Or it was like, man.
Yeah, really, it started at a young age. So when I was 12, I had to buy all my own school clothes,
You was a hustler.
school shoes, things
That's what
like
we saying.
that.
We hustling.
I had to. I ain't had no choice.
Listen, I ain't mad at the struggle, so I'm asking.
Yeah.
So we hustle. We
Oh
ain't
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go define what the hustle is. We just gonna say we hustle.
12-year-olds hustle.
Man, 12-year-olds hustle. The man said he had
Hey,
to hustle.
so
He said he had to buy his
I
own school clothes.
yeah. I actually started with cutting grass. I was pushing around lawnmower. And then, just kind of advanced from there. So I wasn't always outside, just playing or being able to play video games all the time because I wanted, how kids are. If you in middle school, high school, everybody at least wants some decent clothes and shoes. So in order to get that, I had to make sure that I did what I had to do to be able to buy it. So that's where it started. And then just continuing on, I knew that all the things that I wanted, all the things that I saw from a kid that I couldn't get, I knew I had to work for it to get it as an adult. So I knew, hey, a job wasn't going to get me that. Because then I got to ask them, hey, can I go on vacation? Hey, can I do this? Can I do that? So it was just never my thing, being in that mind frame. I was never in that real mind frame. Hey, bud.
So you pretty much been an entrepreneur your whole life. So you've never had a job, held down like
No,
the traditional type 9-to-5 job?
I have. So when I went to college, I dropped out of college my sophomore year. So when I dropped out, I was in Nashville.
You dropped out or you got kicked out like me? We transparent on here.
That's when you insert the why.
I guess you could say kicked out.
Come on, we a family now. I got kicked out too. We gonna embrace this.
Yeah, I did the whole the academic probation and then suspension and yeah. So when I moved back, I'm with my girlfriend at the time in the projects. And we had the defining moment for me was we had this bed, right? Well, it wasn't even a bed; it was a mattress. The mattress on the floor, and there was a headboard against the wall. The mattress pushed up against the headboard. I remember coming home one day, and I sat down, and I was like, "This ain't it." I went from because I was at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, so I went from there to now I'm here back in the projects, and not doing nothing I should be doing. So the only thing that I could think of at that time was the military. So I went down, and out there they deliver phone books. So when they deliver the phone books, nobody ever picks them up. So you walk through the project, everybody got a phone book on their porch in that little clear plastic bag. I walk past it every day. So I went down, grabbed that, called a recruiter, went into a Navy recruiter the next day, and was just like, look, how soon can I get up out of here? Because I saw that was basically like my last resort. So I went to the military, and you know, I went through that. And while I was in the military, I said I'm going to use this as a stepping stone. So I actually used the school. I was able to go to school through them where they paid for it. That's where I actually dropped out because I was like, man, I don't want to do this. Like the stuff that I was doing, it's like it's dumb. It's not helping me. And in the while I'm in the military too, I also started other businesses. So I started my IT company, and then that's when I got into real estate. So that was like my main, I guess, job experience or workforce experience. And then once I got out, I did government contracting temporarily so I could learn the contracting game because I started a government contract company. And then that was it. So once I left that, then I was like, all right, that's it. No more bosses. Nobody, no more supervisors. No more PTO.
Yeah, you went and found the ultimate boss, the U.S. military. Ooh, shoot. That's the ultimate boss. You can't do nothing without permission. So I can see why you say no more bosses after that experience.
Yeah, yeah. And my experience actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't the typical experience. Like I was in the Navy, but I was never on the ship. I flew everywhere. And I think what worked in my favor too, going in the military, is I didn't go from like 18 years old. Like I had already experienced the real world. So a lot of my peers, they came in straight from their parents' house to the military. So they lacked the maturity. So I was in a lot of leadership roles. So I was able to stand up special programs. Like for instance, the last one that I was in, I was over Central South America and the Caribbean. And I had a team of 3 other guys. And I basically would set up trips to go and work on the computer systems, or do tech refreshes at all the embassies in those countries. And we flying commercial, so I'm racking up Delta miles, Marriott points. So, and I'm running that 4-man team. So it was cake really, and I got paid a lot more money for it.
So why did you leave?
Cause I didn't want to. They still was my boss, so I didn't want to get caught up in that because it wasn't gonna be like that forever. In the military, they let you stay in a place for a time, and then it's like, all right, you gotta go somewhere else. So it was one of those things. Like I said, just a stepping stone.
I'm trying to place your military time. So you are 43?
Dang, did he ask you to do that?
It sound like when he joined the military, we was in war. So I'm trying to figure out how was he able to.
He ain't asked you.
You said 43.
How old are you, boss?
See,
take 10 years off that.
33. I thought I seen somebody said it was 43. I apologize.
So he didn't put his
I'll be
age
34
out
the 21st of this month.
Okay. I thought he took good care of himself. I thought he was an older. I apologize. See,
you thought he took good care of himself.
Listen,
how do 40-year-olds look?
Like my old ass. See, no, he would have been past the initial crazy war stuff. Okay, just because anybody I talk to in the military, around my age, first thing they say is that when I went to the military, they pretty much was going. They were shipping them over there to Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and all that stuff. And he was like, man, I was able to find a slick lick, and I was doing this other stuff. And I'm like, dang. That's the first time I've heard somebody give that type of military story. So I was,
it's not common.
It wasn't, and it seemed like it allowed for him to learn a particular type of skill, like old boy from Taken, that has allowed for him to,
They say black don't crack. They also say don't put people age all over the book, but
Whatever.
Kevin gonna do
black
what Kevin
men
gonna
don't
do.
care about that. That's something that black women. Why do black women care about their age being displayed?
I guess you have to
That's
ask
a good
them.
question, actually. That's a good question. I want to know the why behind that too.
Why? Do you want to speak for the black women on that?
I need to speak for the whole black women.
Yep, the whole
black women.
The whole black women, not the whole black woman, the whole black women.
I said what I said.
Put an E on it.
The whole black woman.
So you ain't gonna answer. I got it.
I mean, the only thing I can say is we look younger than we are, so let it be what it is.
We just gonna let y'all live in lies.
That's all we gonna.
I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to live in lies.
What's the why behind that?
I just told you the why behind that.
No, the why behind why y'all want to live in lies.
Why y'all what? Yeah. Especially the ones who claim that they so real and.
Wait, you can't tell no lies and be real?
But you said living lies.
No.
Yes.
He said living lies, and I agreed.
So you co-signed it.
That's what I did because
we as the community here would like.
If not telling your age or putting your age out there for the world is living lies, then I said, sure, that's what we want to do. Those were the options that I was given. For me, I think the point is that as Black women, we feel like we age gracefully, and there's no need to walk around with an age tag. And that's just what it is. If we want to be 25 and y'all believe we 25, then we living in these lies.
Maybe your 40-year-old ass shouldn't be acting 25. That's neither here nor there.
But age ain't nothing but a number, right? It's cool when y'all do it, but it's a problem when we do it.
R. Kelly in jail now for that bullshit. So
age, that's why he is in jail.
Age is definitely has value.
I mean, I guess since you talked over me on that, but I'm just saying, I don't think that's why he really in jail, but neither here nor there.
Back to the topic. I'm sorry. I got us all.
So when and why did you create the clothing line?
So the clothing line was really it came to me kind of randomly. I was sitting in my thinking chair. So I got this chase, that I had in my room, and I, sit there, do work. Like after I put my son to bed, that's typically where I sit, do work. And really it's like looking around at the Black community and how much emphasis and priority is put on designer clothes. I wanted to create something that actually had a meaning behind it. Because I also, I don't know if y'all seen the movie House of Gucci about, so if you know that story of the Gucci family and like how that brand came about and what was done to sustain that brand, it's a lot of dark stuff behind that. It's a lot of backstabbing. Actually, nobody from the Gucci family is actually even involved with the brand anymore because most of them got locked up for trying to kill each other or for actually killing each other. And this is a high-end luxury brand that we're huge consumers of. But most folks don't even know, the story behind that. So I just wanted to create something that actually was meaningful and could wear with pride. And it started as just being something for me that I was just gonna wear all the time. People liked it, so that's when I actually started selling it.
And how long have you been selling that?
April made 3 years. Or
So,
2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years.
So after the pandemic?
Yeah.
Much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why was that important?
I'm just asking questions. I told you, bro. This is our dynamic. This is how
I just wanted to know, why was the pandemic important in the clothing brand?
I like time frames because I know during the pandemic, a lot of people came out to be like, "Oh, I'm doing this entrepreneur stuff." Like everybody was at home, locked down, couldn't really move. Government was giving away tons of money. So a lot of people said, "Man, all right, man, how can I now start my brand or start a business?"
So you asking him that he get some pandemic money to start his
no,
business?
based on what he said, he started back with the
I should
military
have.
doing stuff. So he's been grinding.
He said he should have.
He should have got
Why
some
you
pandemic money.
Right, that's what he said. Why you answering these questions for him? Why are you answering the questions for Vic?
I'm sorry, Vic. I ain't mean to answer your question.
Nah,
So the real question is, did you
had
get the
businesses.
PPP? No,
Did I? Nah. But I see a lot of folk got away with it. I know a lot of people personally.
Allegedly.
You know,
you allegedly know. Allegedly know some people that got away.
That's teaching a lot of people, but they making a lot of money. But hey, I don't knock nobody hustle.
I will if it's gonna impact me.
You gonna knock somebody hustle?
Yeah, man. If they hustle got the potential to cut, nope, it's not that. If I'm thinking I'm getting something good and your hustle has the potential to jeopardize my freedom, I'm hating on it. Yep, sure is.
That don't even make sense to me.
It made sense in my mind.
Whatever. I'm just completely lost at your thought process.
All
right. So with the clothing brand Real, is it just t-shirts? Is it outfits?
Got t-shirts, sweatsuit, like hoodies, sweatpants. Yeah, bucket hats. I got sunglasses that just dropped this spring. So that's been a popular item lately. Got the yoga sets for women. And yeah, that's pretty much
you
it.
for real out here in these streets.
Trying to do a little something. It's been a learning experience too, because I just been kind of learning as I go. So I typically incorporate that when I travel too, like learning the business with distributors and things like that. So while I was in Asia, I actually met with some distributors that I'm gonna do some business with for some new pieces coming up.
That's what's up. He turned that trip into a business trip. You heard him say that?
I think the trip was a grind trip anyway. He just capitalized on it. Like, hey, I know, because who would just say I want to go to Asia? Like black people saying I want to go to Africa. That like, oh, I want to go so I can see. Most black people like, hey, I'm gonna go to Asia. They may say I'll go to Bali. I don't know too many black people saying, no, I want to go to Asia. All the black people I know who go to Asia, they going on some business stuff.
You must know like 3 black people. I don't understand how
all
you
the
just
so my percentage of the black people who I know that say they're going to Asia, whatever is 1 or 2, 100% of them are that ones that say they're going is going on business.
You just said you wanted to go 2 days ago.
I said I want to go to Japan.
I mean, he was specific, I guess, not Asia as a broad scope, a specific country in Asia, right?
That's an island over there off on this other thing. Hey, Japan is by itself.
Japan nice though. Tokyo's nice.
Been to Japan.
He told you that when we started this.
That was
one. Yep. That's actually where I started my trip, in Tokyo. Yep. But you said like, most of us don't talk about like traveling to Asia. I think that's a problem that we have, is we get hooked on going to Atlanta and Miami and consider that as well traveled.
Outside.
Yeah. So, but it's like the reason why I like traveling like that and to like far away places like that is because you learn so much. And like literally coming back here, my first stop in the US, like coming from over there, was New York. And I remember I stepped off the plane and I could immediately feel like this just bad energy. And I was just like, bro, I don't want to be here. And
You
then New
felt
York is
bad
just,
energy.
yeah, it's like because coming from over there, things were just so peaceful and refreshing. And then coming back here, and then you gotta, especially in a place like New York, none against New Yorkers,
Sound
but
like you got something against New York.
none against New Yorkers, but they
That's
kind of rude. They kind of rude. They ain't I'm from the South. You ain't gonna get Southern hospitality there. So you gonna get that even if it's not intentional, it's like it can be very abrasive. So just coming back into that energy from where I came from, we're just like, dang, I'm ready to turn around and go back. If it
When you
wasn't
were
for
on a
my
trip, did
son, I
people
would
look at you
stay.
like a superstar?
Some places, yeah. Um, so in Asia, that's a big thing when they see because they don't see many black people. So, uh, like Tokyo, that ask to take pictures. It'll just be random people come take. Hey, can we take a picture with you? I had a layover in Malaysia, so I'm in the airport, and these ladies came up and like they were super excited, and they was like, "Can we take a picture with you?" And I'm like sitting down, and I was like buying a sandwich at like one of the little kiosks, and yeah, it was about five ladies, older ladies, and they wanted to take a picture.
They said they may not see one of you again.
Yeah, so yeah,
I don't know how I
it
feel about that though.
So this
I
comment says we lived in Germany for 5 years and it's truly different. So
hmm yep. Germany is one of those too. They love black men in Germany. I don't know
hear
why
how he said
exactly,
that? I feel some
but
type
they
of way.
do.
I'm about to
They
just
do.
ask Vic where he haven't been. That seemed like to be a better
I,
question to ask. Where haven't you been that you want to still go?
Egypt is at the top of my list right now. So I've been to a
Okay.
couple spots in Africa, but I haven't been to Egypt. So Egypt is like number one on my list now. Where I want to go. But the world a big place. I've been to 35 countries, so there's still a lot that I haven't been to.
35.
And you was like, I'm in Africa, Africa.
Right.
People was like, well, where
We're in
in
Africa.
Africa? And you was like,
Right.
the Africa.
Africa. Yeah, I
I'm
was
like,
there. I was Africa. You didn't see me. Like, I felt good. I felt
Yeah,
accomplished. Then here
and
we
then you
go.
just gotta look at
yeah,
you with the blank stare.
Yeah, man, I got to do better. All right.
yeah. And see, if you talk to an African or somebody, they're not gonna say they're not gonna say I'm from Africa. They're gonna name their country. They're gonna say I'm from Senegal. I'm from Ghana. I'm from Ethiopia.
Yep. And it'd be serious and very different.
Yeah, yeah. They don't like being lumped into that one group.
Why you staring at me?
I was just waiting to see if you was gonna
Like,
tell them where you went, or did you just go to Africa?
I went to South Africa.
I was just
We was
okay,
we was down there at the bottom of Africa. Shoot.
all right, all right. They
I came back so I keep talking.
is that the so y'all spent the whole time in South Africa
Yes.
or okay,
We was in Johannesburg, then we flew to Cape Town for a day just to go take a look
okay.
at that side of South Africa.
Cool.
He was in
So,
Africa.
Don't take away my joy because I was in Africa. Your man just said
hey,
people happy to be in Atlanta and Miami.
yeah,
Because that's a
you,
turn up. People are looking for a turn up. Obviously, you have a different mindset, and that's just what it is.
They have no clue. Go around in Miami and Atlanta you want to, get broke. Go to South Africa, your $1 become $18 real quick. That's a real turn up.
uh-huh.
But they don't know. Like you have to experience something different. You know what I mean? People don't leave like their county, their state ever. So people don't know what
Yep,
they're missing exploring the
and,
world.
yep. And a lot of people, I guess, to kind of tie into the questions too, people don't really have a reason, or they don't know why they should travel to another country because they don't. It's so much that you gain. Um, like when I started really traveling, like I looked at America completely different. Um, you look at everything different, like the way that things work. Um, everything is just different. Your whole perspective changes, and then you get to experience other things. Like in Bali, I was talking to a taxi driver over there, and he was telling me about a. He was like, "Yeah, we can buy like a 2 bedroom house for about $30,000," and he said that was like really expensive to them. And we was in the dialogue. I said, "Well, you can barely buy a vehicle in America for 30,000." And and I said, if you want to buy a house like that, you got times that by 10. It's about 300,000. But he wasn't aware that America was that expensive. So because I mean, obviously he's never been. So it's just having those perspectives. So then coming back here and then you look at the different things. Like over there, I had a villa in Bali. Like literally open up glass door, step out the room, and I got my own private pool right there for $21 a night. You won't see that anywhere in America.
No, that ain't him. So
But this comment confirms like basically what you were saying. Other countries give you the opportunity to see the US very differently. What's important to the US is not important in other places. I think we got to see a little bit of that. So I'll agree.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then you also get to see how other people view America. Because here you get if you watching the news, they're telling you, we're this great power, everybody respects us, everybody fears us, things like that. We're a joke to a lot of other countries.
We kind of
Like
felt
they
like that
they
in
laugh at
London.
us.
we definitely felt like that in London. They just
Yeah,
looked at our American dollar like, who are y'all? Why don't you go somewhere? Get back on the
yeah,
plane.
yeah. They a lot of other countries they laugh at us.
I will
So
definitely agree with that.
So
So I have
you got one?
well, hold on, let me read this comment because I was gonna leave the traveling. What's free or given in other countries is definitely not the same here.
oh yeah.
So I also agree with that. But I was gonna leave the travel, and then my question was, Vic, do you have a business coach?
I have a mentor.
Okay.
So I guess I could say I've had multiple over the years, but a lot of times my mentors come from just relationships, um, friendships. Like my best friend now is actually a mentor for me as well, and he's basically an older version of me. He's like 40. He just turned or about to turn
I'm
40.
an old ass 40 people, boy.
But but yeah, but a lot of the things that I've done or I'm going through business wise, he's done. And he's been an entrepreneur a lot longer than I have. So it's a lot of different things, and not even just business, but even personal. Like I used to have a problem with. I'm very black and white, so I only knew how to explain things one way. Having employees, it don't work that way, uh, because everybody doesn't receive messages the same way. So, so that's an example of something that I learned because I'm just like, look, I'm telling them exactly what I want. I'm speaking my mind, so that there's no confusion. But I had to learn that, you have to tweak your delivery based on the audience you're speaking to. So
So how
little
many
things
businesses
like
you
that.
got currently?
Real estate. I have a short-term rental company. I have a clothing company, and then I have a consulting company. So three main ones. So basically, what I'm doing is consolidate. Everything falls under the umbrella of real, rich even after losses. Um, and then a lot of the things that I had going, I'm kind of delegating to other people because as crazy as it may sound to some people, like the grind and like chasing the bag, I think that I'm not gonna say it's over, but that's not my top priority because the things that I wanted that I had to work for, I was able to obtain. So a lot of the material things, when I was a kid, I had all these different things I wanted. I said I want to have a house with a in-ground pool in my backyard. I want to have these cars. I want to be able to travel. I want to all these different things. So I've already been able to obtain those things. And what I realized, and also what opened my eyes with the last experience that I explained, is those things they still don't make you happy. They still don't solve your problems. So like in my mentorship, like with mentees that I talk to, I used to say, look, don't chase after all those things. Those things ain't gonna make you happy. But what I had to realize is I could say that, and anybody can say that. Um, but for somebody who's never had it, they still gonna chase after it. So now I encourage people, look, you got the things you want, go get them. Go get all those things as fast as you can. Because the faster you can get them, the faster you can realize that that's not going to make you happy. So then you can stop chasing it. So that's the point that I got to. Um, so now it's like uh, really, if it jeopardizes my peace, then I'm cool on it. So I can turn things down now. Like what I enjoy now is going in my backyard and gardening. Like I grow fruits, vegetables, and stuff in my backyard. Um, Hanging out with my son. Like those are the things that I enjoy. Traveling. So I don't really care about the luxuries and the material things as much anymore. So I don't I don't really have to work as hard because I'm not trying to get those things.
I feel like that was pretty powerful.
No, that was deep. Um, in your bio when I read it, it said that you were an award winner, the President's Award winner. What did you win that award for?
So it's for basically impacting the community. Um, so they accumulate like business, community impact, just kind of over the course of my career or life, I guess you would say. So I do different community work. I actually started a nonprofit a couple years ago with a group. And a lot of I'm big on the youth and pouring into youth, but doing it in a way that's not really the conventional style. Like whenever I speak to kids, I have this statement that I make, and I let parents know, they may not like it, but it's the truth. Um, I tell them I'm a 2-time college dropout. College is not necessary to be successful. School is not necessary to be successful. Um, I'm not telling nobody to drop out of school, but I think a lot of parents, adults, try to force education on kids because that's all that they know, because that's all they were told. So once you learn more, once you know better, then you do better. So I've kind of already been through those things. Like even though yes, I'm still fairly young, uh, I've gone through a lot of things that um, it takes a lifetime for other people to go through, experience, and learn from. So I try to pass those things down as much as I can, because I think it's important and very healthy for youth to ask questions. So if it's something that they don't understand, it shouldn't just be, oh, because I said so. Because like coming up, that was what I always heard. Like, well, why we got to do this? Because I said so.
Yes, Lord. That was the reason.
Right. But see, I feel like when those answers come about, it's because they don't know why. Like when people say, "Oh, you need to go to college." Well, why? And
Well,
it's
the
only
why was
because
supposed to
somebody
be
else said.
to, well, based off what they told us in school. Because as a parent, I ain't gonna lie, if if a motivational speaker or someone was coming to speak to my child in a setting and said, uh, "School isn't for everyone," I agree with the college part of it. Like I said, I was kicked out, so it did make me successful. It
Hmm.
actually put me in debt. But I think those building blocks that the primary school level gives, even though depending upon what type of situation you is, it may not be the best environment, but it does give you a structure on how you go through and deal with life. You know, I'm a little bit older, a little bit older. So my school system back when I was growing up was more based around control and more like, I would almost say kind of preparing us for prison, just because of the area that I was growing up
Y'all
in at the
didn't have
time.
shoes and stuff when you went to school.
We did have shoes. Stop that.
You had to walk 17 miles because it was the
I'm
bus
not
system.
that old.
But you said older.
What I'm saying is that we grew up in a different environment. So I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas. So back in that era,
Okay.
the 90s era, it was more gang violence, and teachers really didn't teach. Teachers really showed up to school to get a check and survive the day. And we didn't, I ain't gonna say we as kids made it any easier, but there were no real opportunities there. When I moved to Florida, I came into a different environment. It was more of a suburban area. The education system was better, and it provided a better structure for me to actually learn something and gravitate something. Because if I'd have stayed in Little Rock, I probably would have flunked out. I came to Florida. They said, "Hey, we do things a little bit differently here."
They just pass you along here.
No, I was getting passed along in Arkansas because I was an athlete, but in Florida,
Yeah.
they almost flunked me a couple of times. He's like, "No, we got to do something different." But then they found out I was an athlete, so they said, "All right, let me work with you, but you still got to do the work. But we see you present a talent." So that's what allowed me to kind of navigate through that stuff. But I had to go through it. And while like I said, I don't necessarily think every kid needs to go to college. I do think they need that building block so that you can learn. Because if you don't even have the structure to complete that or learn it, then I don't see a kid saying, "All right, I'm gonna teach myself," because that don't really happen. Like
So
most
what
kids ain't gonna
role?
teach themselves.
So what role does the household have on education then?
What role does the household have on education? My household, or you're just saying? I want to make
He
sure I
Yeah.
wanted
understand the
he
question.
wants you to speak for every person like you wanted me to speak for every
So
person.
So like how school, because I think a lot of us depend on the school system to put us in position to be successful, quote unquote, in life. So what role, if that's the case, if you got a kid going to school, sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, what role should the household, should the parents or guardians play in that education?
That's a great question. I can tell you right now, for me, the way the education system works, I am struggling. And I'm just happy that my daughter was able to graduate and be as successful as she is because she graduated this year. I can't help them with nothing. But to answer that's a great question. I guess I need to really ask myself that.
So I
I got
think
an answer.
that's where the parents have to, that's where the self-education comes in. Because if you're sending a kid to school and you're depending on the school system to make your kid smart enough to navigate through the world, you're setting them up for failure anyway. Because the school system ain't gonna put them in position to be successful. The school system gonna put them in position to be a worker.
That's true.
If you look at the history of the Board of Education was established by John D. Rockefeller. The purpose of the Board of Education was because he said um, that he wanted a nation, he didn't want a nation of thinkers, he wanted a nation of workers. And you made the comparison to prison. If you ever look at public schools and then you look at prisons side by side, they're very similar. You look at the hallways, you look at the lunchrooms, you look at the outside of the buildings, they're very similar. You look at the buses. So we get and I again, let's tie it back to the question of why. And we ask why, like, this younger generation is so messed up and so lost and all of these things. Well, it's because the parents didn't take the time to try to educate them. Everybody was just pushing the kids to the school system and saying, go learn everything from the school system and you should be all right. But if the parents don't have nothing when the kids come home, it, we get what we got now with the current generation.
What do you think about the current generation? Because to me, I think what I'm seeing out of my kids and the ones around me, so I can see a little bit of entitlement. But to me, a lot of these kids are bright. They're trying to figure out how to be their own bosses and stuff. Like
Yeah,
social
I
media has created something within these kids to where it's like I want more than what they see us as parents sometimes have. Even though some parents may have, it's like I see you working your butt off to get it. I want to have that, but I don't think I should be able to. I don't have to kill myself to do it.
yeah. No, I think the kids definitely are brighter because they have more access. If you look at just technology, you can find the answer to pretty much anything from your phone. And then the other thing is, I think this generation doesn't operate in fear. I think a lot of our parents, like I've even had conversations with my mom, and she's mentioned that like y'all just don't have any fear. And her generation, it was just they operated out of fear. They did things because they was fearful of what what the results would be if they didn't do it.
And
Um,
they had to survive. Like the rules
right,
wasn't for them to be as, I guess, aggressive as we could be or our kids could be.
right, yeah. And I get that. I think the one thing though with the current generation is Yes, they're very intelligent because they have the access uh, to technology. I think as far as, so if you think about social skills are dead.
Social skills are dead.
Um, and just the really just respect and integrity, I think is a big thing. And those are things again that they not gonna learn in the school system. In the
No,
school
that's taught at
system,
the
they
house, but that truly is the parent because
right.
you can tell kids who are raised in a household where the parent has a certain level of structure and say, hey, you're going to respect and this is what it is. But I think it kind of goes back to something you were saying earlier, like that whole you gonna do as I say, and I don't have a real answer. Like we grew up into that world.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's from lack of understanding themselves, like as the parent, as the adult, not having that understanding yourself, but then it's not taking the initiative to educate yourself or to, strengthen the areas that you weaken so that you can pass that along to your child.
I'm getting a lot of comments on this. Um, I see one of the comments say we're raising a generation of soft kids. Charity starts at home before it goes abroad. Period. Kids' lack of social skills is an all-time high. Some are very bright, but some don't understand or know the fundamentals. You need to count your own money and spell, and they don't have social skills. And they rely on technology for everything.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the current generation, um, a lot of parents said that they wanted to give their kids the things that they didn't have.
Yep.
But I think what was missing is you never taught them how to get it. So a a popular buzzword in our community is generational wealth. We don't
Yep.
have any examples of generational wealth. There is not one example of a black family that has established generational wealth. The actual statistics for that is something like 70% of wealth is gone. This is in black families, is gone by the second generation. 90% is gone by the third generation.
Look at Vic with the statistics, Kevin.
So
Like your
we
long
don't
lost
have
friend.
no. Yeah.
That's an inside one, Vic. Don't worry about it. I give facts all the time, but mine are fake. So I'm glad somebody else is dropping them so she can actually listen for once.
Yeah. So I think that's got to be the focus, man. And that's why I say that goes back to why I said I'm not really in that chase the bag mode because I rather like I have what I need. It's not being complacent. It's that I understand the importance of having to teach my son things. I can't do that if my mind is constantly on chasing the bag, chasing the bag. Your mind can't focus on two things at once. It can't. No matter how smart you are. And there's no balance in entrepreneurship. Anybody that say that probably isn't really an entrepreneur. There is no such thing as balance. You can't have it equal across the board.
Well, that's a hard reality too. No fake facts.
All right. So
Yeah.
I know we about to get ready to wrap it up. So, but this is a very good conversation. I almost like, man, I'm gonna
We
have to
want to
bring.
talk to you for another hour
I
about
do. I
this.
want to. I'm gonna have to bring Big back for a part two, and we're going to have to jump into that piece of it because listen, we can get real deep in that, go into some political stuff, some religious stuff, and
Oh
just
yeah.
have a lot of people in their feelings right now.
Yeah.
But
See, I,
we're
I
gonna try to
like
keep it
those
PC.
conversations.
I
I
know
like those.
we trying to
So
make sure
so
we want
so
them to
when
buy the
you're
book
ready,
first. Then we're gonna put them in their feelings later. So let the people know how they can follow you, how can they get your book
Just connect
and
with him overall.
just general social media connections and all that stuff?
So social media, pretty much Instagram, trying to use TikTok more, and Facebook. I am the real Vic G is my name on all those. As far as the book, you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple. It's all over the place. It's even international stores if anybody international. What else we got? Real clothing. So realclothing.io is the website. If you're interested in the clothing brand, got good stuff coming up for that too. Like I said, we just recently dropped some shades. Those have been real popular. So I have some new colorways coming out with those as well. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Well, Vic, man, thank you for joining the Boss Fest family, man, and having this conversation with us, getting your information out there. I know that the conversation was definitely going to start getting real interesting. So I was like, man, we're going to run it back for a part 2. So we're going to see exactly how your schedule looks, see if we can run it back. And we going, like I said, we're going to step on some toes. I like those type of topics where we can step on.
So yeah. I like those. I like the tough conversations.
Anything you got to say, babe?
No, I feel like you done like created a bromance. Like your eyes done lit up. Boy.
My man done dropped facts. He done told me about some other stuff. He is that type of energy that I think all men should have, like that person that they see striving to do better and good things. I think we all should try to keep those type of people around us. That's what I search for.
You hear?
Listen, I
Kevin want to be like this. That's what you want.
I do not want to be like that.
Yes, you want to be like, oh my gosh, I love you.
Put your goddamn heart down.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that in the current climate we live in.
Don't listen to that. What I want to do is, yes, no Diddy, all that. So, but once again, man, we appreciate you for coming to the Boss Fest table. We gonna get a part 2. We gonna chat offline, and we gonna get this part 2 going. And like I said, we gonna make it real controversial. I'm gonna find a good topic that's gonna piss everybody off, so they can be screaming at us in the chat. So we're gonna definitely do that.
Y'all stay tuned. Boss Fest is back.
Boss Fest is back. We've been gone for a while. Like I said, we've been talking about it slightly on the chat. We went to Africa, and that experience was just amazing in itself. Like Vic stated, man, sometimes you don't understand what's going on around you till you step out. Stepping on that African soil, I felt connected to something I didn't even know existed in me. I think I'm Zulu. I think I'm Zulu. I feel it in my spirit. Like I'm waiting on. I'm trying to learn the language. I'm working on my clicks, because you know how we be like, America always makes stuff over exaggerated, but they be clicking. They
didn't ask you to do that.
They didn't ask me to do that, but I'm gonna learn the language and I'm gonna click with it. I'm doing it.
You're gonna do the ancestry DNA?
I'm gonna do the African ancestry DNA, so they can tell me what tribe I am from. And if that big come back that I am Zulu, just know I'm cutting the hell up. I'm finna have the shield. I'm going bald. I'm finna have the Zulu head wrap. Like, people gonna be upset with me. Like, man, it is. Why the hell is he wearing that? But nah, man. We gonna keep you too long. But hey, y'all know how to follow Vic. Check him out on his socials. Instagram, Facebook. He trying to do TikTok. Me too. I can't stand TikTok, but we trying to do TikTok. The book is out. You can get it on Amazon. The book is called
Go Get the Book.
Go Get the Book. Why don't we ask why? And
why don't you start a book club so y'all can read the book together? You like book club. You supposed to read how many books?
I'm supposed to have read 12. I'm supposed to be at book number 6. I'm at book number
so
1.5.
12 for the year?
12 for the year, 1 book a month. The problem is, I think the books I'm reading are too big. That's my problem. They got too many pages.
Too many words.
I got you some short books. You say you like audiobooks?
I haven't really tried audiobooks, but I may need to give it a shot. I just never tried it.
Okay.
He should probably try audiobooks.
It's like I listen to podcasts all day on my rides and stuff. So an audiobook may be what it is I need to do. But I don't know. I think an audiobook is something I can do, but I want to read. I want to physically read 12 books for the year. I ain't gonna get there, but I ain't gonna stop. So I read no books last year. I read
like you already stopped.
No, I steady reading. I'm just reading slowly.
You're only 6 months in. You still got time to get there.
Yeah, only way I'm finna catch up unless I'm reading the Cat in the Hat. I did not give up.
Sound like gave up too.
I'm gonna read 5 Dr. Seuss books real quick to get back to my quota. Then I'm gonna get back on the other.
He got you with the little words.
He's all right, big man. We gonna go because it ain't gonna get no better at this point. God dang. I swear. But y'all tune in again to another episode of the Bossfest podcast. We gonna be back next week doing our thing. We out. Peace.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
No problem, boss.